All right, good evening, one and all. Welcome to the video. In this video, I will be teaching you about Elasticsearch and basically GeoPoints. So we learn how to add these data into Elasticsearch using Python SDK. Once we have the data inside, what we are going to do is basically I'll teach you how to write queries in Kibana, and basically we'll learn how to get the data also. So with that being said, let's get started. And unfortunately, I do not have my microphone with me today, so the audio might not be that great, but please bear with me, and let's begin the tutorial series. All right. So let me pull up my notes quickly so we can speed up the process a little bit. All right. So let us do the first step. So let's say step one. So remember, whenever you have something latitude and longitude, you always have to define your custom mapping. If you do not do that, by default, Elasticsearch will treat it as a text or a float. Okay. So first step, import modules right there. Okay. So these are the modules that we need pandas, we need Elasticsearch, and you can say from Elasticsearch import Elasticsearch. I've already done that, so here you can see everything is up and running. And please do make sure that you have Elasticsearch running on the background. I already do have it. Okay, so just FYI. All right, so the second step would be creating an Elasticsearch object, right? So let me write step two, and don't worry, the code is there on my blog. So we'll say create a Elasticsearch object, right? And I'm gonna create an Elasticsearch object. There you see, and I'm basically connected to my local host right now. So here you can see I have the message. So that's done. Good. Now we need some sample data or a fake data. I have a sample data set that I'm gonna use. Right. So this is basically just a fake latitude and longitude. And of course I made it up. There is no called as Ray. Skills Python, C++, Java. Just made it up randomly, right? So let's call this as sample. I'm gonna run that. So that's my JSON. Remember, so these are the primary keys, that is myloc, skills, and names, and inside that it might be nested. I don't care. So this is my geo. That's what I do care about, right? So in order to do the geo stuff, we need to create a custom mapping. So let me do here my sample data. Step three. All right, so that's my data set, and I'm going to define. So basically, we need to define our custom mapping. As I said, it's very, very important. So let us define our mapping, guys. It's not that difficult. So I'm going to call settings, right? Now, basically, in this, we need to provide a couple of parameters. So let's give settings. All right, so that's my settings. So we do need to specify the number of shards and number of replica. So let us do that. I'm gonna keep everything to default. That is usually one shards and replicas are zero. So that. All right, so that's done. So the dictionary is complete. We can add a comma right here, and now we'll define our mapping properties mylaw. That's the format. So you say mapping, then properties, and inside the properties you have to specify the field name, and then you have to say type as GeoPoint. Remember, because I have a field called as myloc and it has lat and long. This is the format, okay? Standard format, right? So I'm gonna run that. So of course it works. Now I'm gonna create an Elasticsearch index. So so that's step four. Let's say step five. Create index. All right, so I'm gonna type my this stuff, and let's call this as Shah. That's my name, last name. This is very, very important. Ignore 400, right? And the body would be will basically give settings, which would be right here, and we should get an acknowledge message. So if I run it, I can see acknowledged. All right, now let us put the data inside the Elasticsearch, and I'm going to show you to query that data, how to query the GeoPoints, right? So that's the SHA and body as sample, ID as one. Now let's say res1, and we have an acknowledge, so that's good. Now let us change something here. Let's get rid of Python. Let's call sawmill. Let's give it an ID number 2. Oh, let's change the latitude as well. Let's where the hell is that? All right. So yeah, right here. Let's change this to 66. I don't know, maybe 150. I don't know. I'm just making up. I'm gonna add that data as well now. Response success. Let's move to Kibana, which is a visualization tool. Gonna go here, management, index management, and sure enough, we do have that. Sure. And if you see, we have document count as 1. Did I insert the second document? Not sure. So let's do that quickly. Right, let's refresh it. That's fine. I now let me actually show you how to query that data, because since this is a GeoPoint, let me actually show how to get the data now. So what I will do is basically, guys, I'm gonna go to my DevTools right here. Remember the database name is SHA. So let's get rid of all of that. We don't need that. The database name was SHA. And now I'm gonna paste some geo queries here. I already have a library, and I'm not gonna make it open source right now for some reason. So yeah, let me get that. But I will, what I will do is I will explain you the queries. Okay, I do promise you that. Okay, so give me one sec. Because every time I cannot do everything as open source, right? So I think this should be fine. Give me one more sec, guys. Just making sure that. All right, now I can bring it on the screen. All right, so I'm just gonna use my library that I have developed for master Elasticsearch. So let's define the radius as 2,000 kilometers, latitude as what did I put inside? 45 or what was that? 66, 150. Let's do that. So let's go here. Put this guy as 66 and put this guy as 155. Where? Yeah, and the primary I'm gonna put as a malloc, and it's gonna return a nice, beautiful query for me. All right, let's do that. So left click, but don't worry, I'm gonna explain you the query, so you should not worry about that. All right, we have an issue at line 362, 362. Okay, let's try one more time. Of course, I need to call that geoquery function. All right, so let's run this. Hopefully no more errors, right? All modules loaded. I think I forgot to print it as usual, you know. Let's do response. Beautiful, lovely, fantastic. Let's run that. All right, we have the query just like that. That's beautiful. All right. Let's go to the Kibana. Let me explain you that. That's the most important thing. So source, basically, if you want basically any columns, size, how many documents do you want? Okay, bool, must, match all, should. Let's get rid of should. We don't need that right now. We have filter, and remember this is a format. Okay, so we have filter. Oops, let me comma. So we have filter. Then we have geo distance, which is a predefined word, right? Then you would say distance, and you would specify the distance in kilometers, right? Then you would specify the field name. My field name is myloc, if you remember. Then the latitude and the longitude, right? If I run this, and if you see, I get the data, right? See? Then if you want further, you can filter it out. Like let's say where the first name is sawmill, I can specify that very specifically. Let's reduce the radius to 2 kilometers, because I know that this person, okay, 2 kilometers is pretty small, I think. Let's make it 20 kilometers. That should be, ooh, let's make 100 kilometers, maybe. 100 kilometers. Run that. Ooh, all right. Maybe what, 500 kilometers? Whatever. Let's try it out. Yeah, 500 works. So, yeah. So 500 kilometers. And then further, you guys, you can add, like, as I said, uh, filtering stuff. Like, let's say you want to say where the name, first name is Sawmill. You can add all of that, right? All the fancy stuff, you can do that. Not a big deal. Right, so that's all about the geo query, guys. Let me show you if possible, like where the first name is. I'm not sure if they have enabled the field data, but yeah. So of course, if you know, you can also visualize that, right? So if you go to Kibana and you need to create an index first, so we'll create that quickly if it loads up, right? One of the field is, that's my template. Right, so let's see Kibana. All right, that's up and running. So what I can do, go to management, I can go to index pattern. Remember, I can create an index pattern. The name was Shah. I'm gonna say Shah. Next step, next index, create an index. The index would be created. We'll go to the discover tab now. One sec. So, so I'm right now on my database, that is Shah. Okay, let it load up. It's gonna take a while. All right, now I can bring it on the screen. All right, guys, so that's my database, Shah, and if you see some dummy data that I just posted, and here you can see the symbol is also geo. You can get the JSON if you want to see the JSON, right? Now, of course, if you want to quickly filter out stuff, you can say name dot first name. You can specify is, and you can say like Sawmill. I'm not sure, it might work, might not work. You can add filters, and here you can see it filtered out the records for me. And if you want the query, again, you can go inspect. You can go to request, and here you do have that query. So here you can see, right here, that's the closing for this guy right here, and that's the query. I can pretty much add it in the match phrase or filter, wherever you would like, basically. I pretty much usually add it in the must section, or you can add it in the filter if you want to filter it out. So let's say here, all right, there's a syntax issue. So I can add it here maybe. Oh yeah. So I think I mean, it has to be a list, right? This has to be a list, and then I have to like keep adding documents. But of course, you can add that. So just wanted to show you. So I hope this tutorial would be useful for you guys. So I discussed about the GeoQuery, and remember, as usual, the mapping is very important in GeoQuery. You have to specify your custom mapping, right? As usual, this code is there on my blog, so please kindly make sure and check it out. And if you have any more questions, as usual, please list them in the comment section, and I would be very happy to assist you. Once again, thank you for your love, support, and see you guys in the next video.